For months, the conversation around Caitlin Clark has revolved around the bruises, the elbows, the cheap shots, and the cold shoulders that followed her into every arena. The storyline wasn't just about basketball anymore. It had become a saga of jealousy, hostility, and the kind of territorial pride that comes when veterans think a new star is rising too fast. But while the league obsessed over trying to make Clark earn it the hard way, the largest financial power on earth was quietly taking notes. Not sneaker companies, not corporate sponsors. Something far bigger. Something capable of rewriting the entire sport in a single announcement. The rumor now spreading like wildfire across the sports world is a staggering billion-dollar offer aimed directly at Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. A rumor that Stephen A. Smith didn't just acknowledge, but validated with the kind of seriousness that turns speculation into a looming reality. When Stephen A. Smith speaks, the sports world listens. But this time, he didn't sound like a commentator tossing out a hot take. He sounded like a man passing along the final warning he'd been giving the WNBA for months. He had been the lone mainstream voice calling out the league every time Clark was shoved, mocked, or deliberately targeted. He warned them that their refusal to protect the one player responsible for their exploding ratings would come back to haunt them. And now, according to his revelation, the consequences have arrived sooner than anyone imagined. The Saudi Public Investment Fund, the same financial force that flipped the world of golf upside down, has reportedly prepared a hostile takeover of women's basketball. Their targets are not random. They went straight for the league's brightest star and one of its most marketable personalities. And according to Stephen A., those players have already agreed in principle. The shock didn't come from the rumor itself. It came from the source. Stephen A. Smith doesn't casually repeat whispers. He has connections that reach into boardrooms, locker rooms, and international circles. And when he spoke about the supposed billion-dollar offer, his tone was calm, deliberate, and chillingly confident. It didn't sound like speculation. It sounded like someone who had seen the outlines of a future the WNBA is desperate to avoid. His message was simple. He warned the league. He begged them to protect their golden goose. And now, as he put it, someone richer, stronger, and far more aggressive has come to buy the farm. The Saudis did not pick Caitlin Clark by accident. To them, she represents a level of global appeal that transcends the sport. She sells out every arena she walks into. She spikes television ratings beyond anything the league has ever seen. She moves merchandise by simply breathing in the direction of a camera. She is the kind of generational force that investors dream of. Someone capable of anchoring a global sports product from day one. And Sophie Cunningham's inclusion only confirms how strategic the Saudis are. They're not assembling a traditional roster. They're assembling a cast, a duo, a brand. Clark brings the worldwide spotlight. Sophie brings the edge, the charisma, the personality that commands social attention. Together they form the perfect nucleus for a breakaway league centered not just on talent, but entertainment, and at the center of this whole storm is the same truth Stephen A. has been screaming for months. The WNBA failed to protect the superstar who was saving them. Clark was flying commercial. She was getting blindsided by cheap fouls. She was left off the Olympic team, while less deserving players were elevated based on hierarchy instead of merit. The Kennedy Carter hit wasn't just a foul. It was the moment the casual fan realized something ugly was happening. A generational star was being punished for being too popular too fast. And the league, instead of stepping in and setting a standard, shrugged and let the tension grow. The Saudis saw it all. They saw a league struggling with outdated cultural dynamics. They saw players publicly resenting the attention Clark brought. They saw a star isolated instead of embraced. And when players feel unprotected, undervalued, and restricted, opportunity moves in. That's the lesson LIV Golf taught the PGA. Once the Saudis enter a sport, the landscape changes. Caps don't exist. Budgets don't exist. Negotiating cycles don't exist. When they want something, they write one number so large that loyalty becomes a luxury nobody can afford. A billion-dollar deal isn't a contract. It's an empire. It's the kind of offer that redefines a sport in a single signing. and the reported structure mirrors the LIV model in almost every detail. Charter flights, luxury accommodations, global tour stops, no salary restrictions, ownership stakes for the stars, total freedom over branding and personal marketing. The kind of environment that doesn't just lure a player in, it makes them question why they ever accepted less. The WNBA now faces a crisis unlike anything in its history. Inside the league office, panic is brewing. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert spent an entire year building the league's growth pitch around Caitlin Clark. She was the ratings spike, the merchandise boom, the negotiating leverage for bigger TV deals. She was the proof that the WNBA had finally reached a new era. But if Clark leaves for an international super league backed by unlimited money, everything collapses. Networks walk away. Sponsors pull back. Salaries shrink. And the same veterans who mocked Clark for getting too much attention will suddenly realize that their own financial futures were tied to her success. And the silence. The silence is the most telling piece of all. Normally, when rumors this explosive spread, agents sprint to deny them. Teams issue statements. PR firms go into overdrive. This time, nothing. No denial from Clark's camp. No clarification from Sophie's representatives. No WNBA statement calling it misinformation. And silence in sports means one thing. Conversations are happening behind the scenes. Silence is leverage. Silence is negotiation power. Silence means the rumor is real enough that nobody wants to shut the door. Every day that Clark takes another hit without a whistle, every long flight she takes without charter protection, every snub she absorbs, every resentment-filled comment from a veteran, all of it pushes her 1 inch closer to accepting the kind of life-altering offer the WNBA can never match. The Saudis only need one signature to shift the future of women's basketball forever. And if that signature belongs to Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's fate changes overnight. The basketball world feels like it's holding its breath. Stephen A. Smith didn't just drop a rumor. He announced the beginning of a power struggle